yesterday, Finjuice turned up in Impact Wrestling. Kenta's already in AEW. John Moxley and the Good Brothers just want to travel the world. Kenny Omega wants to win every single world title he can. And even though the Forbidden Door is already open, we just may have got our biggest piece of news yet. Firstly, yes, this is just me sat down with my green screen, which is not the name of my new EP, but it is Sunday over here in the UK and most of the world, because that's how time works. So people are resting, as they should be, but we wanted to get this to you as quickly as we could. And what am I talking about? Well, during the latest episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said that Okada is coming somewhere because, of course, all these business relationships are now done and people are shaking hands. And if you're like me and I'm like you, straight away you think to yourself, well, that must mean All Elite Wrestling. Or maybe, I don't really know, but you have to stand to reason. So now it's time to ask the question, why? Here's why. And the quote for you, so you can get into the comments and start having a debate, was, they are all in business. It's all open now. Okada is coming. I don't know where or when, but he is officially coming, and others are coming too. Now that last part is very exciting, because if you share the same dreams as I do, you now want Suzuki to turn up on Dynamite at some point in the very near future and just kick everybody's ass. But really, now that it is out there, I can't see Okada going anywhere else apart from AEW. Now, of course, it could be New Japan Strong, or it could even be Impact, maybe Ring of Honor. We don't know for sure, but I kind of feel like this whole arrangement has been put in place for the fans. Obviously to try and light up business too, but is aimed at the hardcore audience. And if Okada was this close and he didn't go to AEW, you'd likely go, oh man, that's kind of what I wanted. That's no disrespect to them, I just think it's what most people would want. And on this show, Meltzer goes on about the Forbidden Door as if he's paying royalties for saying the word, and then kind of insinuates that another match between Okada and Omega is in the works. And of course, from that you may lead to Omega versus Ibushi and your mind starts to explode, apart from those few people that don't want it because they say, well, I've already seen it, or I don't think it's very good for New Japan. Why do you care who it's good for? I tell you who it's good for. It's good for you, it's good for me, it's good for your Auntie Joan, as long as she's into professional wrestling. Why wouldn't you want to see more tremendous professional wrestling matches? I mean, Okada and Omega have had such a good run of these and such a good series that many people, when they're discussing them, go, I think it's some of the best I've ever seen. Now, you don't have to agree with that, but the fact it's even in the conversation is absolutely crazy. And I get it, in 2021, there's so much hyperbole and everything is the best thing ever, but it still stands to reason. Ain't nobody saying Nia Jax versus, I don't know, Bianca Belair is the best thing ever, although Bianca would probably make that quite good. And I mean, have you seen those matches too? And I mean, Okada versus Omega, one goes for about 76 years, but it only feels like 3 minutes. At one point, I think Kenny Omega just dies because he's so exhausted, and the amount of story and the amount of callbacks, like I say, it is pretty damn good. The only thing holding us back right now is the current situation with the world and the fact when it comes to countries, either borders are closed or you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And it's really hard to take 14 days out of your schedule to go to another company when your home promotion would be like, you do have loyalties to us, you know. I know we've let you go on flabberbanging around the world, but now we need you on this event. It's gonna make it tricky. But it certainly sounds like we have come to some kind of agreement and that we are gonna set it off with a bang. It also just opens up so many opportunities. Like, eventually you will be done with Okada versus Omega, and while he should then go away for a bit, when he does return, just think what we're able to do. Okada versus Hangman Page. Okada versus Cody. Okada versus Darby Allin. Okada versus Ricky Starks. Okada versus John Moxley. Okada versus Sting. I know you rolled your eyes at that last one, but if we are going to live in this crazy fantasy land, I want to have a fantasy world where I get a cinematic match between Sting and Okada and it's held on the moon. There's no holding back now, people. We can shout for things and somehow they just come true. The only real shame is that we're not going to have packed out houses when this does happen, because I think within that is how this angle works. Like, Okada turns up on Dynamite, 10,000 people lose their mind, and even if you're watching at home and you know nothing about New Japan, because they're making so much noise, you're going to think, well, I guess I have to care about this guy. He's clearly a star. And then, yeah, maybe it does lead to more people watching because people love buzz and they want to be a part of it. I mean, nobody knows right now. We're all just guessing. Like I say, how is Okada even going to pull this off if it is going to happen soon? Luckily, I don't have to worry about that. I'm just a bored asshole running his mouth on YouTube. We should also send him to Impact when he does come over here, because for those who don't know, he did have a run in that company when it was known as TNA, and they called him like Okato, and they basically put him on their second show constantly and did nothing with him. I mean, a few of the stories they ran were a little bit stupid. And I know, I get it, he wasn't the guy then, but still, this was a waste of his talents, so he should go there and somehow he should get his revenge. He could just beat everybody up, shout, I'm Okada, give somebody a rainmaker. Don't pretend you wouldn't love it, and don't pretend you wouldn't go out of your way to watch it. You would. But yeah, for all those hoping that it may be real, I actually think it's real. And while I would never say this pandemic has been good, because it's not, it's been horrible, it has given us a few golden nuggets when it comes to professional wrestling. I think it's opened the forbidden door, I think it turned Roman Reigns heel, and it allowed Drew McIntyre to have 2 world title runs where he was consistently booked as a strong babyface, and everybody loves him. That never happens. Beforehand, we were getting suffering fuckatash. Now, these are small silver linings, but they're silver linings all the same. But if you do have a favourite character in either AEW or New Japan that you want to go to the other promotion, well, you better start writing it down now, because only then are your wishes going to come true. That's not even an accurate statement. They're going to happen anyway, because the forbidden door is open. AEW apparently even trademarked that, so maybe we'll get a pay-per-view. The forbidden door. No, don't do that. And look, let's face it too. I don't think this all of a sudden means everyone's going to become a massive competitor to WWE. They're making too much money and they're too big a brand. As I've said before and I'll say again, my mum doesn't know it's called professional wrestling. She thinks it's called WWE because those initials have just embedded in other people's brains. But if you do want to get to a point where you're shouting as loud as you possibly can, I think coming together and trying to work as one is a really smart idea. I don't want to be that guy, but if you want to say, hey, that sounds a little bit like the territory system before Vince McMahon went and shut them all down, well, it kind of is. You take a really good guy, you send him over there, then when he's run his course, you send him over there, then when he's run his course, you send him somewhere else, and because he's always working with different people, and because he has inbred star power, well, it's just something you want to see. And look, maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. I can't see into the future. I gave up that power back in 2006, but I know that I'm excited, and I know this makes me massively intrigued, and I know it makes me want to make videos like this because I'm so pumped to talk about it. And never forget, that's all professional wrestling should be when you are a fan. You get excited and you go chat about it with your friends. Or if you don't have any, on the internet, then someone calls you a dick, but you move on. And it's still early days, of course, and it only ever takes one person to say the wrong thing, and then there's tears, and then the whole thing falls apart. But I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I want to be a positive Pete because of all the things that just came out of my mouth. But right now, if a man walked in here and put a gun to my head, I would tell you that I totally believe that at some point, maybe in 2021, maybe in 2022, Okada is going to turn up on All Elite Wrestling's Dynamite show. Hell, maybe Tony Khan actually starts the second one and he debuts there to try and give it the biggest amount of explosion possible. Maybe it's called Explosion. No, TNA used to be cool. Don't do that. That's a bad idea, but I feel I've made my point. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all of this. Are you excited? Maybe you're not excited. It's up to you. You're allowed your own opinions. But again, in those comments, let us know. Then like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com where you can keep up to date with this as you can on social media. Search for What Culture, take a breath, and watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I am so excited about this. I don't care. I don't care if it's good for business. I don't care if it's not good for Terry that lives down the road. I want to see dream matches like Okada versus Sting on the moon. I made that very clear, and that's all I'm going to enjoy. If it helps ratings, that's better for everyone. But either way, I kind of think at least one feel at least one person is going to be a happy camper. And I enjoy it when people are happy campers. You have a smile on your face and you're in a tent. Because that's called camping. Have a great Sunday. See you soon.